Hi guys, my name is Genevieve and you're welcome to the very first episode of Gist with Genevieve. I'm so excited. Okay, I hope I can contain this, but we are here and it's happening. Gist with Genevieve, guys. So, out of the numerous topics and questions we received from people, I chose one to begin with, and it's emotional abuse and mental wellness. Although the society pays more attention to physical abuse, domestic violence, assault, and all, because that one is actually life-threatening. But chances are, for every time somebody is being abused physically, or for every time domestic violence occurs, or anytime someone was assaulted, the person must have been abused emotionally. Emotional abuse can happen in different forms. But before I go into the various forms of emotional abuse, I want to ask a question so that we all know the people that we are talking to, so that it won't be like Genevieve is talking to herself. Okay. So please, have you ever been emotionally abused? If you've ever been emotionally abused, can you do like this with your right hand? Can't see hands. Okay. Have you ever abused somebody emotionally? Can I see like this with your left hand? Okay. By the time we are done, we would know within ourselves if you have actually been abused and if you are the abuser. So, how does emotional abuse occur? What is even this emotional abuse? I don't want to go into the definitions and all, but when I was studying about emotional abuse, I realized that even the simplest of things that we take lightly, they just destroy people, and you wouldn't know it. You would just say something to somebody and move away, and the person starts to brood on it and get sick emotionally because of what you've said. So let's start with where this emotional abuse occurs first. It occurs in the families first. A child is born into a family. The parents, instead of saying the right words to a child, you begin to tell the child other words that are negative. You begin to generate so much negative energy around the child. Maybe the child is not doing so well in school. You talk down the child. You insult the child. If he or she has siblings who are doing better, you compare them to their siblings. You call them names. Big for nothing. Olodo, you like food. Shame. Chubby is only food you like. Can you just allow that child? Can you just encourage the child rather than talk the child down? The child grows up to being an Olodo, thinking he's an Olodo, to being a big for nothing, to being you too like food, you know sabi book, your head is a zero, obo not. You know, all those things. After the child is so sucked up, the child grows up, and then becomes either of these two. Either the child becomes an abuser, or the child becomes a perpetual victim of emotional abuse. Now, somebody who has been emotionally abused is most likely to spread the virus. Now, the child starts spreading this virus in school. He becomes a bully, or he becomes the one who is bullied. Now, let's talk about the bullies. Somebody who takes out time to deal with other children in school. You tell the child anything. You don't care about how people feel, because your own emotions have been so dealt with that you don't care. You call children, your fellow children, names, kids like you. You bully them, you steal from them, you beat them up, you threaten them, you threaten their lives. And that is the reason why they wouldn't even have the courage to speak up to the appropriate authorities. They won't tell their parents, they won't tell the teachers. And then this goes on. That child is a king. The child becomes so arrogant, you become a boss. And then you continue to spread this virus. People come to work with you or work under you. And one thing you will make sure you do to anybody that comes to work with you is to make sure that the person feels less than themselves. Have you ever worked with a boss who at some point you started to question your sanity? I mean, am I the one that got this degree? Did I go to school? Okay, wait. Did I go to school? What's this man talking? Did I go to school? Am I a graduate? Okay, have you had colleagues that lie so much that if you don't do a mail or probably put some things, conversations on black and white, whichever way, they will just deny you outright? No, in the workplace, just do a mail to save yourself the whole, because it can be very crazy and traumatizing when you have a simple conversation with somebody, and when it's time for the person to own up and take responsibilities, the person wouldn't just do that. So this is how emotional abuse occurs. Now I want to take back to something I skipped when I was talking about emotional abuse on children. Please, can you call a child by his or her name if you don't know what to say? Or just, oh, beautiful child, oh, sweet boy. That's good for you to do. But for you to address a child because of the way the child is formed or misformed, say, chubby, 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 I don't like chubby, chubby. Chubby, chubby is not good. Now that being slim is in vogue, if you're calling a child chubby, chubby, the child might feel a little less of herself or himself because you're telling him biggie, biggie, fatty, fatty, or slimmy, slimmy. No, can we just forget about using some of those derogatory adjectives or whatever they are to address children who are trying to develop a sense of belonging or responsibility? In fact, they are the future of this generation. So when you use words like that on them, okay, growing up as a child, I was abused a lot. My peers, they always call me Odara Ocha. They always call me Mano Akara. You know all those things. Odara. Okay, so what? I was a bold child. So what if I'm as fair as Odara? Odara is an African fruit. So what if I'm yellow pawpaw? I was bold. I didn't care. But do you know that this can have an adverse effect on a child who might just feel that it is wrong for me to be fair in a country where majority of people are black? Do you know that? Then I'll now start looking for maybe something to do to make my skin maybe change from fair to dark or something. Or calling a dark person blackie. I mean, the blackie has a name. So you get my point when I say people are being abused every day, but they don't know. And people are also abusing people emotionally every day, and they don't even know that this is what they are doing. That is why we have a lot of people walking down around the streets who are mentally sick. You have to learn how to get the antidote of this virus of emotional abuse. And if you are an abuser, you have to learn how not to abuse people. You kill people, you berate them, you take away their dignity and their sense of belonging. And this happens over time, and they believe it, and it becomes who they are. It's not funny. Now to the part that we all have been waiting for, emotional abuse in marriages. That is the one that shows, that's the one that basically we all know. A man marries a wife, and a young girl who has dreams and aspirations goes into a shell and becomes a nobody all of a sudden because of the things the man constantly tells her. Maybe she just had a child, her body is not the way it used to be. You start telling her, you're fat, you're not beautiful anymore, look at you, this, that. This is not this woman that just had a child, can't you see her when she's back? You start comparing her. Look at other women are out there achieving. All you know is to eat and sleep. Haba. Okay, can you just calm down? Can you just take it easy on that woman? Okay, what about on the other side, a woman abusing the husband? Because I know that women were dancing shakity bubble when I was talking about the one they do to men, do to women. What are the one women do to men? Comparing them constantly, especially their successes with the success of others. And we know that nothing kills a man faster than you telling the man he's broke. A broke man has no dignity already, and then you're talking the man down. If your husband or your spouse cannot afford a Range Rover or any other luxurious thing you need, please, can you make do with what the person is presenting? Can you? And then you speak the person to the point that the person will be able to, afford the things you need. You don't have to call a man big for nothing, good for nothing. All you know is useless man. I'll cook, you eat, you come and eat. Useless people are supposed to eat different degrees of insult. One reason why people feel emotionally abused is because human beings are created to be loved. Now, no human being can survive alone. No human being can make it alone. Sorry, team self-made gang, you did not make it alone. There was somebody that spoke to you when you had your low moments. There were times when you couldn't make it, but someone was there to give you support. Someone encouraged you, and those words picked you up from where you were, and you moved on with life. No, you're not self-made. No, you're not. Someone made your food. You ate someone's food. Someone did your dry cleaning. Someone helped you. So human beings are not created to exist alone. So that is why people can feel emotionally abused. So if you don't know what to say to somebody, just say something nice. You have nice eyes. You're beautiful. You're great. You look great. Good. Okay, now that we've explained some of the places how emotional abuse can occur and informs it can occur, let me ask this question again one more time. Have you ever been abused emotionally? Do like this. My eyes are closed. Okay, so now that we know how emotional abuses and all can occur, we are going to be talking about an exit plan and what to do to reduce the amount of emotionally abused people and abusers in our society. So this is what we'll be treating next week on Gist with Genevieve. Guys, it was so awesome gisting with you guys today, and next week we're going to be talking about a lot you need to know. So stay tuned and stay glued to Gist with Genevieve at Jenny_QT on Instagram and Genevieve Tochi Worry on Facebook. I'll also leave a link on my bio to my YouTube channel, and I'll be dropping videos there. So guys, see you same time next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and this is Genevieve Osoka once more, the host for Gist with Genevieve. All right guys, bye.